Today we're going to talk about how limiting beliefs may be holding you back. So we've all had those thoughts. I'm too busy. I have other things that are way more important that I've got to get out of the way before I take care of myself. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too anything. So if you notice just by looking around you day in and day out, there is a lot of the same, because what happens is we get kind of stuck in the comfort of the known, as I like to call it. So day in and day out, we develop our routines. You may, pop out of bed already feeling stressed. Hopefully you get a restorative night's sleep. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And then often we're off to the races. And it's just like, I've got to go and serve. This is my role on the planet. And what I see that happens when we do that is we're living other people's energy. So it could be your boss, it could be your spouse, it could be your kid, it could be just even driving on the way to work. You're getting stuck in the energy of that person who cut you off in front of you. So when we talk about mindset and sort of the ability to make effective change in our lives, in our health, in our relationships, in our careers, it's about really one of my absolute favorite quotes, which is find yourself fascinating. So I have this conversation day in and day out with patients when they come in and talk about what happened in their life. I had a lady who was doing incredible, losing weight, feeling phenomenal with different supplements. She had addressed certain kind of boundaries in her life. And then she went to a doctor for a specific complaint, and that practitioner said some things that completely derailed and triggered her. So she got right back to that familiar energy of victim, of stuck, of it's too hard, of I just can't do it. And everything I've done over the past 6 months has been to waste because this problem's gonna get me down anyway. And I see this all the time. That was just a patient yesterday. So what I would like to ask you is, where in your life is the default going back to that, where you're just in a routine, you're stuck in a rut, and it's just the known, the comfort of the known? Because very often growth of addressing our issues, of sitting with our issues, is too much. It just feels too much because it requires energy. It requires us to actually sit with and feel our emotions. And we're in a culture where that's not really accepted. Everyone's looking to numb their emotions and just keep getting by. It's sort of like, let me just get through the day. So when the belief that many don't understand, or not the belief, but the truth that most of you have yet to understand, because it's an everlasting evolving journey of learning, is that the very thing you're trying to avoid by having a reason why you can't make the change in your life and your health, that emotion, you want to find it fascinating. So for example, let's say you have just been putting off a tough conversation and you don't know why. And maybe it's with your kid who's kind of pushing your boundaries. Maybe it's with a sibling and you're having issues dealing with your parents. Whatever, it could be a partner or somebody at work. Sit down and give yourself a minute to try to understand why. Find yourself fascinating. Why? And very often behind that is one of the number one emotions that keeps us stuck, which is fear. So we have fear over what will happen. Will they be mad? Will we be left alone? Will they, cut us out completely so we don't have a relationship anymore? And when we've been a codependent type of energy with these situations, that can be very frightening because it's almost like losing part of ourselves. And when you see that, so the goal is observing your patterns. When you see that and you look at it and say, wow, okay, there's fear there. What's underneath the fear? Sometimes under the fear is anger for something that happened in your childhood. Sometimes under that is grief. You just keep unpacking it. Keep asking. And then the cool part is you don't have to really understand it. If the emotion pops up, you can say, oh, okay, let me just feel that. What's the worst thing that happens? Okay, the worst thing that happens if I kind of stand up for myself is they don't want to talk to me anymore. Okay, well, there's other people that want to talk to me. I'm pretty cool. What happens if I finally, and we see this a lot, by the way, with weight, there are a lot of limiting beliefs that can be just under the surface that's preventing you from taking that super actionable step. And it could be, wow, if I look good, or when I look really good and I start losing the weight, I can't be as easily kind of hidden. Okay, what are you hiding from? Ask yourself. You're hiding from emotions, from being seen, from another person, from your own feelings. And just maybe journal. That's one of the most effective tools. Just free write. I've had that lead to many breakthroughs for myself, like just free write. I'm scared to lose the weight because then I'll be attractive again. And when I was attractive, I got my heart broken. Something like that may really shed insight for you. And the thing that comes back always in all of these journeys, whether you say you're too old to start an exercise program, or every time I do this weight loss program, I fail, what's the point? Every time I lose and gain weight, it's just bad for my metabolism. Or this is genetically just my destiny. I know everybody in my family has this problem. So whatever that go-to is for you, the common theme is that everywhere you go, there you are. And that is the definition of sovereignty, in my opinion. So sovereignty is self-possession, meaning you understand yourself. And so many times, this is the core issue behind every behavior we have, is that we haven't given ourselves grace to sit with those emotions, sit with the underlying emotions. There's a really incredible book, Dr. David Hawkins, who passed away a couple of years ago, who wrote about the map of consciousness. His last book is called Letting Go. It's a really good read. You guys should check it out. And he goes through the different emotions that are usually hidden behind behaviors, hidden behind the limiting beliefs that are blocking your healing journey. So he talks about anger and grief and guilt and fear, where they may be coming from. But the message that carries through that I really wanted to share with you today is that once we sit with these emotions, they usually pass within 15 or 20 minutes. It's not a long thing. Things that we've avoided for decades could be resolved in 15 or 20 minutes if we just allow it to come up. If you need to yell and scream, if you need to cry, if you need to journal till your hand falls off, if you need to go sit in silence in the trees, how many of us can't sit in silence? I used to have trouble meditating myself, just like many of you, and I'd have to turn on a guided meditation where somebody was talking me through the experience. And now I crave the silence because I want to. I'm so curious. I want to see what my ego and what my true self, what's buried under the codependency or under the merging with other people or other emotions. And it's kind of like a treasure trove, but you dig. At first it doesn't seem like treasure. It seems like trash because it's scary when fear comes up and grief and all these emotions, and they're strong. But keep sitting with it, keep digging, because on the other side of those limiting beliefs is that version of you that is healthy, that is healed, that is vibrant, that is authentic, that is true. And that sovereign version of you, nothing can stop. So whether it's the concept of aging that you're scared of, and you feel like you're too old to do something, that is a huge mindset game. If you stay in your head in your 20s or 30s, depending on how old you are, if you're in your 20s or 30s and you stay there, like in your mindset, like every day that I age, I'm actually going to age every day. Let's put it this way. Every day that goes forward on the calendar, I'm going backwards by 2 days. So I'm actually net reverse aging. You can claim that as your experience instead of I'm too old. Okay, wow, it's another day and I'm another day younger. And then you're going to find that as you sit with the emotions, find yourself fascinating, get below them, that those very things that were stopping you before, whether it's the things you're trying to do, whether it's the workout program, whether it's your diet, whether it is healthy conversations, relationships, all of that, whether it's stopping alcohol and wine, you're going to see you're ready to make that positive change because the barrier, which was the subconscious blocked emotion, has been sat with, has been entertained. And then there's nothing that's scary. When you find yourself in that deep recess under that emotion, it's the most freeing part of the journey, because whether you're elated, and by the way, I'm working on my book called Sovereign Medicine that will be coming out in 2026. And as I'm writing this book, I'm seeing a lot of mirrored energies. Whether you're walking through trauma, you just lost a loved one, you're going through a divorce, you're getting a diagnosis you don't like, you have lost a job, or you're elated, you just got married, you just got a huge promotion, like things are going amazing. Those are fleeting moments in time. Wherever you are on different ends of the experience of life, there's a constant, and that is your true authentic self. And that's my passion to help lead you back to. So as we enter the new year, I want you to give yourself the gift, that should be the biggest gift of the holiday season, of presence, of curiosity, of finding yourself fascinating. Check out that book. Look for the underlying subconscious emotions. Sit with them, meditate on them, pray with them, give them grace, feel them, and then get ready to embrace that new you, the one who can follow through with the weight loss programs, the one who can follow through with the healthy eating that treats your body with grace and love, the happy, healthy relationships. That version of you is right there for the taking. I love you all. I'll see you here soon.